All right, we just talked about searching and browsing, and I watched that video back for myself, and I was kind of surprised to see that it was 5 minutes long. That is longer than I was expecting. I usually take maybe 2 to 3 minutes to demo that for a customer. Now, with you guys, I think I explained a few more details that I probably wouldn't have gone into in a typical demo. I wanted to make sure you guys got kind of a range of things that you could look at. Usually I pick and target some things to talk about, but the key is to keep it simple, because that is what they're looking for, is a simple way to find the content. They want it to be easy for their end users. Whatever system they have in place today, this is probably one of their biggest complaint areas, is that it's hard to find stuff. So we want to make it seem simple, and the best way to do that is to equate it to the experiences that people are having every day, so they know how to shop for things on the various shopping sites, and they know that yes, those sites have made it really easy for them to spend their money there, right? So they make the experience simple. So we just copied that. This looks like a shopping site where you'd browse and you'd search and you'd find the content, the stuff that you want to buy, and you would simply pick that and purchase it. So we've just copied those kind of layouts. So if you can stick to whatever shopping sites are popular in the part of the world you're demoing to, talk about those. And the same thing for the search engines. So whatever search engines are popular in your part of the world, go ahead and talk about those. So where I live, everybody knows Google. Hey, I'm in the city of Los Angeles, but I'm over on the west side right now in a neighborhood called Venice, and I'm just outside the Google office here, and I'm going to see if I can't climb on top of those binoculars in the background and see if I can search for something. Maybe I'll look down in there and see what I can find. All right, so that didn't really work out. I tried to climb to the top of the binoculars. I had some Google nerds come out, and they tried to help me because they thought it was a cool idea. And then some security guys came out and said, "What are you doing? Get that grappling hook out of here." And they escorted me back across the street. So anyway, I guess it's not a good idea to climb on top of any Google building. So just some advice for you. Again, just remember to use the local search tools and shopping sites that your customers will be familiar with, and equate what we do to that. Now let's talk quickly about how our experience is actually similar to what you find out there when you're shopping. So let's just search for something. I'm going to type in television here on Amazon's website, and notice on the left-hand side there are those search facets. I can now narrow down what I'm looking for. So very similar to what you just saw inside of Saba. Again, I'm not making this stuff up, right? We're just kind of copying the best practices on how people buy things and presenting our content in a similar way. So just keep that in mind, that these are real things. Make those connections for yourself. Come up with your own stories of how you want to share how simple this experience is. Again, you can keep this part of the demo pretty darn short. Okay, back over here in Saba Cloud now. Just a quick side note, because it's fresh on my mind. I was at a demo last week, and the customer tells me, "Hey, you don't need to talk about that Google-like search so much. It's really important for you to talk about the browsing and being able to find content." So that was a huge factor for them, because guess what? Their current LMS doesn't have a browse function at all. And I was shocked to hear that. And just side note, they're using Expertus. So they said, yeah, there's no way to browse a catalog, a hierarchy of content. So they have no way to do this kind of stuff that I've been showing you in terms of the browse capability. So just a side note, really understand what your customer is looking for. Browsing is not something I usually spend a lot of time on, but for this customer, it was so important because it was such a sore point from their current system that they really wanted to make sure that the new one could totally do everything they wanted it to do. And so search is usually my big talking point, but in this case, browse became that. Again, discovery is super important with these customers, because you never know where they're coming from, what's important to them, and what's not. So a couple of quick tidbits here to wrap up. Again, I'm not trying to train you on everything, but as you're going through in playing around and learning for yourself, just keep in mind what I showed you is just a little bit of what searching and browsing can do. There are many little options here and many things to take note of. For example, the ability to sort content. So it automatically sorts it by relevance, but you'll see all the other options here, sorting content by ratings, alphabetically, how recently they were added or modified. So you'll see those different kind of options there, just little different search result options that you can play around with. The best thing that you can do to learn about this is just to log in and start clicking around, right? You can do this in any environment. You can do this in Saba at work. It doesn't have to be a demo environment, right? So just keep that in mind, that there's lots of little things that are out there that you can use, and you can start playing around with that and just looking at that and understanding what the capabilities are. Every time you type in a different search, those things on the left hand side are going to change. They're going to be different. So just keep in mind there's plenty to learn here, and you can do that yourself. Just play around, get comfortable with it. That's the best thing that you can do. So good luck.